All right. So here we are, step 47 of Learn Intermediate OOP by building a platformer game, right? So inside the if statement, we're going to assign the number 5 to the player's x velocity. Okay. So we'll say, this dot, no. Player dot velocity dot x equals 5. Okay. So let's check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 48. So now we're going to add an else if statement where the condition checks if the left key was pressed and the player's X position is greater than proportional size of 100. Okay. With the argument of 100. So we're going to need to use the proportional size function here to make sure the player's X position is always proportional to the screen size. Okay. And inside the else if statement, we're going to assign the number -5 to the player's X velocity. Okay. So we'll do an else if to start with. And we'll have inside of here, we're going to check if the left key was pressed. So let's get this here, the keys.right key.pressed. Copy it, drop it off. And then we'll also do an, drop it off inside here. How about that? And then we'll also do an and we're going to check if the player's X position is greater than proportional size is 100, all right, of 100. So let's get this too. So we should have just got everything. Doesn't matter. We'll drop this off right here and put 100 inside of here. Now let's do this. And then we're going to need, and then inside the else if statement, we're going to assign the number -5 to the player's X velocity. So player.velocity.x equals -5. All right. So let's check the code. Nope. Greater than, not less than. Greater than. Check the code. No, come on now. We should check if the left key was pressed. Right key. Come on now. Left key. There we go. And if the player's X position is greater than this thing. Okay. We should check if the left key was pressed. Left key. Check it. Okay, there we go. And submit it. Oh my goodness. All right, now we're on to step 49. I really wish I could do this the old style where I just do one video at a time, but can't do it. Can't do it. They're just going to update and it's going to be a lot of lost effort. So might as well just do it. So I got to do it this way. All right, so step 49. We're going to add an else clause that assigns the number 0 to the player's X velocity. Okay. So we'll do else, and we'll say inside of here, player.velocity.x. Let's just take this. Oh, man, come on now. All right, let's take this, drop it off here, and change this -5 to 0. Let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 50. So the next step is to add the functionality that will be responsible for moving the player across the screen. We're going to create a new arrow function called movePlayer that has 3 parameters called key, X velocity, and is pressed. Okay. So we'll say const movePlayer equals, we'll have this right here, and then we'll have the arrow like this, and it's going to have, no, we're going to have 3 parameters. So we'll, inside of here, we'll do key, comma, X velocity, comma, is pressed. All right. And then we'll do this. Not that. And then we'll do the arrow in that. All right. One of these days. All right. Let's check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 51. So in the game, the player will interact with different checkpoints. If the is checkpoint collision detected active is false, then we will need to stop the player's movement on the X and Y axes. We're going to start by creating an if statement where the condition checks if the is checkpoint collision detecting active is false, all right? And we're going to remember that we can use the not operator to check if the variable is false, all right? So inside of here, we'll do if not is checkpoint collision detection active. I hope I spelled that right. So let's see if I spelled it right. Nope. Well, there's two L's. That's not an L. There's an L. Nope. Come on now. Ugh. Let's just double click this, copy it, and drop it off here. What did I say? Detection. Detection. All right. And check it looks good and submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 52. Oh my goodness. Okay. So inside the if statement, we're going to set the player's X velocity to 0 and the player's Y velocity to 0. Okay. So below that, we'll add a return statement. Okay. So the player's velocity. So let's take this player.velocity.x equals 0. Let's take that. Copy it. Drop it off twice in here. We'll change the second one to Y. And then after both of these, we're going to do a return statement. All right, let's check the code. Come on now. Check the code. Looks good and submit it. All right, now on to step 53. So below the if statement, we're going to create a switch statement with a value of key. Okay. A switch statement. Oh, do you remember how to do those? I don't. All right, let's do switch. Let's look up switch statement. Switch. Here we go. All right, so we're going to do a switch. Switch with the value of key. Okay, so we'll say switch key and then this. Let's see if that's cool. Ah, that's what they're looking for, and submit it. So the first case we will want to add, the first case we will want to add is when the left arrow key is pressed. Inside the switch statement, we're going to add a new case called arrow left. Okay, let's look at this. Case arrow left. Okay. We'll just do case arrow left first. So case, say case. How did we do it again? Arrow left inside of quotes. All right, so inside of quotes, we'll put arrow left. Is that good enough? No. Let's do the colon then after that. Colon. Is that good? Okay, there we go. And submit it. Hey, what's going on, Douglas? All right, so what's next? Step 55. So inside the case clause, we're going to assign is pressed to keys.leftKey.pressed. Okay. Inside the case clause, we'll assign this to that. So let's see what we do. Okay, so we'll just put that right under it. We'll put, what was it? Keys.leftKey.pressed. Below that, we're going to add an if statement. Below that? Inside the switch statement? It checks if, or is it below the switch statement? What? Maybe this is two things. Maybe we can do two things in a switch statement. So let's say if X velocity, and let's put the not operator in front of it to start with, because I'd rather do that than triple equals 0. And then we'll assign it X velocity. No, we'll do player.velocity X. So player.velocity.x equals X velocity. Let's see if that works. If not, we'll just say triple equals 0. is pressed. What? Assign is pressed. Okay, so this equals is pressed. Let's move both of these over. All these over. Like that. Check it. Okay, no good. All right, let's try x velocity triple equals 0, just to make them happy. All right, so that's what they wanted, even though the not operator in front of it is the exact same thing. And submit it. All right, now we're on to step 56. All right, so below our if statement, we're going to use the subtraction assignment operator to subtract the x velocity from player.velocity.x. And to close out this case, we're going to make sure to add a break statement. Okay. So below the if statement, we'll use the subtraction assignment operator to subtract velocity from this. Okay, so we'll get this, copy it, we'll drop it here, and we will say minus in front of the equals. And check the, no, we got to do break also. Break. And check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right, now on to step 57. So the player can jump up by using the up arrow key or the space bar. So we're going to add 3 new cases for arrow up, empty string with a space in it, and space bar. Okay. We're going to remember that we can group cases together when they share the same operation. How do we do that though? Oh, okay. So we just do this, and then the next one. Okay. So we'll do that. Inside those cases, we'll use the subtraction assignment operator to subtract 8 from player.velocity.y. And to close out these cases, we'll make sure to add a break statement. Okay. So this is break. We break out of this, then we do another case. Case, arrow up, and then we'll do a semicolon. No, yeah, semicolon. Let's copy this from 102 to the end of 101, drop it off 2 times. We'll change the next arrow up to just a space, and then we'll say space bar inside of this one. And is that what we do? No, we're going to have colons after these. Okay. So we'll do colons after these and not semicolons. Colon, colon, colon. And then we'll do, under this one, we'll do, use the subtraction assignment operator to subtract 8 from player. Okay, so we'll get this 98 to the end of 97, copy that. We'll highlight 105 to the end of 104, drop it off, and we'll say minus equals 8. So minus equals 8. And then we'll do the break. Break like that. Like that. Hopefully this works. Let's check it. Nope. Oh, dot Y. Yeah. Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now on to step 58. So we got 12 left. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, just check out my Twitter. It's just go to the page, the main page, Codeman S. Right here. And it's right inside here. My Twitter's right somewhere. Right there. That's the best place. Instagram, I got it, but you know, I'm not in there. I'm rarely in there. All right, so here we go. Let's keep going. Okay, so the last case we will need to add will be for arrow right. Inside that case, we're going to do is pressed. We're going to assign is pressed to keys right pressed. I think it's everything the same as arrow left, except where we're going to add. So let's just take from 101 to 94. Let me finish reading this first. The last case we will need to add will be for arrow right. Inside that case, we're going to assign is pressed to keys.writeKey.pressed. Okay, just like that. We're going to add an if statement to check if x velocity is equal to 0, just like that. If so, we'll assign the x velocity to player dot velocity x, yes. And then below that if, we're going to use the addition assignment operator. So we'll change this to plus. And that's it. All right, so let's just highlight 107 to 106, drop this off. We're going to call this arrow right. All right. Is right key pressed. All right. All right. This is good. And then we'll change this to a plus. And that should be it. Let's check the code. No. Keys.right key pressed. Keys.right key pressed. All right. Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 59. All right, so now it's time to add the event listeners that will be responsible for calling the move player function. We're going to start by adding an event listener to the global window object. For the arguments, we're going to pass in the key down event and the arrow function, and an arrow function that uses the destructuring assignment to get the key property from the event object in the event listener parameter. Okay. So we're going to start by adding an event listener to the global window object. So window.add event listener, I imagine, and it's going to be a key down event, comma, and then an arrow function that uses destructuring to get key property from an event object. Okay, so we'll do key property from an event object. So let's just say key like this, I guess. Maybe? Nope. Let's wrap this up in parentheses. How about that? Let's see if that works. All right, great. And submit it. Total guess that one. So now we're on to step 60. So inside the arrow function, we're going to call the move player function and pass in key, 8, and true as arguments. Okay, so inside the arrow function, we'll call the move player function and pass in key, 8, and true as arguments. All right. So we'll do move player. We'll do key, 8, true as arguments. I don't remember this. Did we do a move player? Yeah, we did. We just did that. Okay. Okay. Check the code. Looks good. And submit it. Everything's just blurring together. For real. Is this learning? All right. Now we're on to step 61. We're going to add another add event listener to the global window object and pass in the key up event and use destructuring to pass in the key property from the event. Okay. Add another event listener to the global window object. The window. That's not it. Event listener will say key up. Never even heard of that. But makes sense, I guess. And so I guess that means when it's released, and then we'll do the same thing. So we could have just done this. Actually, no, we couldn't have. All right, so let's do parentheses. Let's do this, and let's do key, and then let's do this and this. All right. No. Let's copy this. No, let's cut this. Control X. And then after the parentheses, let's do a Control V. And check the code. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now on to step 62. So inside the callback function, we're going to call the move player function and pass in key, 0, and false as the arguments. All right. So let's just take this. drop it here, change this 8 to 0, change this true to false, check the code, looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 63. All right. Oh, man. 7 left, 7 left. Hang in there. Yeah, hang in there, 7 left. So before we can start moving our player across the screen, we will need to use the animate function. Inside the start game function, we're going to delete player.draw and call the animate function. Inside the start game function, we'll click the start game button and use the left and right arrow keys to move the player across the screen. We can also use the space bar or the up arrow key to jump up. What do you want? Okay, we're inside of here. Delete player.draw and call the animate function. Okay, so get rid of this and call animate like that. Do this. He's flying, he's flying, he's flying. All right, so it works. It doesn't go that way all the way, and it doesn't go that way all the way. Fun. Check the code, looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 64. So the next step is to create the platforms and platform logic. So we're going to start by creating a new platform class. You got it. So how do we do that again? Class platform. Okay. Class platform. How do we do that again? Okay. And then the object. Object-oriented programming. All right. Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. Now we're on to step 65. So inside the platform class, we're going to create a constructor that takes in the X and Y coordinates. All right. So we'll say constructor like this that takes in the X and Y coordinates. Let's go back up here and look at this. This dot X, this dot Y. This dot X, this dot Y. Is that what you want? Nope. What does that mean? Takes in the X and Y coordinates. What does that mean? Does that mean X and Y as parameters? I honestly hate this style of teaching. I hate this style of teaching. This is garbage. Like the old style when we were in school where they would teach the concept and then make us do a million practice problems. That's what works. This is garbage. This is total trash. Honestly, this is absolute trash, but whatever. This is all we got. It's free, isn't it? And submit it. All right, so we do it like that. Give me a second. Oh, man. I mean, it's like the old style of teaching. You know, it kind of made everything that we see, touch, feel, and smell and taste, every single thing, you know, that's of course man-made. That's comes from the old style of teaching. And then why try something new when, you know, everything came from the old way? You know what I mean? But whatever, it's free, isn't it? So let's keep going. Step 66. So when working with objects where the property name and value are the same, we can use the shorthand property name syntax. This syntax allows us to omit the property value if it is the same as the property name, right? So using shorthand property name syntax, we'd have obj equals, what the hell are we doing? When working with objects where the property name and value are the same, we can use the shorthand property name syntax. This syntax allows us to omit the property value if it is the same as the property name. What? Where the property name and value are the same. So we can do object equals an object with A, comma, B, comma, C is the same as A is A, B is B, and C is C. Okay, makes sense. All right. So inside the constructor, we're going to add this dot position and assign it an object with the X and Y coordinates. We're going to make sure to use the shorthand property syntax. Okay. So inside here, we'll say this dot position. Okay. So we'll say this dot position, and then we'll say inside of here, X and Y. So X comma Y. Is that what you want? Check the code. No, it's not. Equals. Check the code. Okay, looks good, and submit it. All right, now we're on to step 67. So next we're going to add a width property to the constructor and assign it the number 200. And we're not going to forget to use this keyword to access the properties. Okay, so we're going to add a width property to the constructor. So this dot width. This dot width equals 200. Is that what you want? Check it, looks good, and submit it. All right, now on to step 68. So below that, we're going to add a height property and assign it the number proportional size of 40. We need to use the proportional size function to make sure the height is proportional to the screen size. And we're going to remember to use this keyword to access the properties. Okay. We're going to add a height property. So this dot height now equals proportional size 40. All right. And let's check the code. Looks good, and submit it. All right, now on to step 69. So next we're going to add a draw method to the platform class. So we're just going to say draw like this. Check it. No, that ain't right. Platform dot, no, this dot draw. This dot draw. How about that? Check, no. All right, let's look up here. This dot draw, and then let's do this. Nope. All right. They did draw like this. So just draw like this. How about that? Check it. Looks good. And submit it. All right. So now we're on to step 70. All right. So that's going to be it for this third part. We're going to go from 70 to 103. No. 70 to 93 tomorrow morning, because I am tired of doing this right now. So we'll start on part 4 tomorrow. And thanks for everybody that came to watch. And we'll see you next time.